Good morning, everybody. Hey, I want to take the opportunity to thank everyone for the extra time that you took in last month's training. And I know that many of the branches had either, off-site meetings or meetings at a different time or very extended meetings from our normal A team. We would not do that to you in August if it wasn't really critical. I think everybody understands that the chase is for platinum. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we'll be after for the rest of the year. When we talk about platinum, there are really 5 areas that you as agents and offices, branches, have an opportunity to really affect. There are a lot of pieces to platinum, but these are the areas that we really need your help in. First of all, the conversion of all the buyers and sellers, specifically in the USAA and the NFCU programs right now, are where we're going to focus in. The customer service for both our USAA and NFCU members. There's a form that's returned for both of those companies. We need to get excellent returns, and we're really going to focus in on the USAA. That'll probably be where most of our training is this month. Business building, that's our friends and family program. Our agent-generated referrals into both the USAA and the NFCU programs. We're going to focus a little bit on the NFCU program this month. Honoring the source, making sure that our USAA customers use a USAA mortgage whenever possible, that our NFCU customers use an NFCU mortgage whenever possible, that we honor the company with our broker-to-broker business, and that we honor the company with all of the title business. And finally, there are points on compliance. Specifically, the most important one is going to be getting your final sale turned in immediately. I'm asking everybody, please make it a habit to start sending that information directly from the settlement table. You're at the title company, you've got the information right then and there. Get it over to your office, get it to your office manager, your transaction coordinator. We're going to focus still a little bit on conversion. Here's the why. We've got 2% buyer increase would equal 2 more platinum points for us, and we need them. It's as simple as, if you break it all down and look, we say 2% increases, we talk about huge number of leads. We're talking about 4 extra buyers a month. We have 16 branches. That means that 25% of our offices need to find 1 more person than we're closing currently. And that'll get us the 2% increase that we need. That'll get us to the platinum points. And there's 2 points sitting on the table for us. We need those points. That's the chase. So how are we going to do that? We talked about it last month. The most important thing that you can do is the new clients, contact them immediately. So the moment that you get that lead, unless it instructs us somehow not to contact them until later on in the day or after 5 o'clock, please make it the habit that you are contacting them immediately. We lost transactions specifically this month, and I can name one. It was 4-hour time frame between, it was a listing and our competitor called it. 4 hours later we called, and they had already decided to use our competitor. That difference in the client's mind was, hey, this company reacted immediately. It took you guys 4 hours. That's just, we think we're going to work with the other company. We win often like that too. So I don't want to point that out as a bad thing. Immediate contact is just something that we're going to make a habit. Teamwork with your branch leader. You got to make sure that you're letting them know if you can't get in touch with that client in the first 24 hours, send that to your branch leader, ask for help. If you lose contact with a client during the process, you had a good relationship, everything's going fine, suddenly the hair goes up on your back of your neck, hey, these people aren't responding to me anymore. Get that over to your branch leader. They'll start the process. They'll involve us. We'll involve USAA if we need to. Incubation of the long-term clients. This is really key, critical, guys. We are asking you, to the best of your ability, refrain from sending a dead for the rest of the year. So I'm not saying don't put a dead file on if somebody's absolutely out of the program and there's no chance to sell them a house or whatever, but really think about it. We need to turn in the least number of dead files as possible. If there's a remote possibility that we can incubate that client, keep them alive, please, please, please don't submit a dead on that. If you do submit a dead, if they're absolutely something that we just can't incubate and keep alive, give us some notes, and we'll do the best that we can to try to get a decline for you. I want to make sure that everybody knows. I put a little note that was out of ReloSpec here, where an agent was really frustrated. They had changed the color on their on what they sent us and bolded it. They're really upset that we're not closing it out because they're trying to tell us to close this file out in ReloSpec. Please know that we will never close out a file unless your branch leader tells us to. So all dead leads must be submitted through your branch leader, then your branch leader will submit it to us. If you're trying to close something out in ReloSpec, you're going to be very frustrated with us because we're not going to close it out. Only the branch leader can close things out. Hope everybody understands that. Customer service, why are we talking about it? We're talking specifically about the USAA program. We didn't have a good month in USAA. There are 4 platinum points that are available for us that we're not getting right now for customer service, and that's a killer to me. Customer service is one that I just don't want to ever see this company not get. That's a really, I just don't ever want to see it. And those points are broken into 2 different categories. So there's a question on the survey that's about the customer's overall experience in that program, and there's a question on that survey about their overall experience with their real estate agent. Each question is 2 platinum points, and we have to be a minimum of 90%, have to be favorable returns in each of those categories in order to get the points. So let's talk about that a little bit deeper and dive into it a little bit. What specifically are we asking you to do? First of all, we're asking you to talk about it right in your introduction. Whether you show them a copy of the survey at the introduction or not, I can see it going both ways. The key is that you have the conversation. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you came to us through the USAA program. I'm sure your experience with USAA has been a favorable one and that you've had great customer service with them. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Well, you know what? It's really important that we are an extension of USAA. I'm responsible for making sure that not only your experience with me is a great one, but that your experience with every part of the program is an excellent one. So I'm going to talk to you about it often, and at the end there's going to be a survey, and I'm going to ask you to fill it out. Is that okay with you? If you've done that up front, you've now set the stage for yourself to feel a little bit more comfortable when we get down to the moment of truth. If you haven't done that up front, it feels really uncomfortable when you get to the end. What people are looking for in terms of delivering the service over and over and over again, if I read through the surveys, the 3 key areas that you want to demonstrate to a client. Number 1, that you're organized. So that comes down to getting them, their paperwork is in a list, your car is clean, your files look clean. People notice these things, and we can have an appearance of being unorganized even if we're not. Demonstration of market knowledge. So educating the consumer on what's going on in the market, educating them on the town, on the schools, on the different things that are going on in that area. And I think if you do things over and over again, we talked about this, you can sometimes go through that stuff too fast. I go to and have been doing USAA homebuyer seminars the last couple of months, and the information that they're looking for is so simple. At times I think, oh my God, I'm going to go there, I'm going to offend people by presenting such simple information. That's the information that they want. So make sure that you're educating, check in, ask questions, make sure that you're demonstrating your market knowledge. And finally, follow up. If we don't follow up, if we promise people things and we don't do them, that equals a bad survey every single time. So tell people what you're going to do and then do it. Third thing that we're asking you to do is, hey, once you've gotten all the way through the process and they've bought or sold a home through you, got to ask them for a favorable return. And, want you to kind of go back and think, most folks coming from the military think that an 8 is a fantastic rating, and we'll talk about that. It's not in this system. And there's a little bit of a nuance to this survey, so we need to make sure that we're explaining it. Let's dive into it a little bit deeper. First of all, you got to know where that survey is coming and how it gets delivered to the client. It's an email. The email comes from this address, survey@survey2.usaa.com. It comes with a subject line that says USAA Movers Advantage Satisfaction Survey. It most likely comes 16 days after you close the transaction. we're going to remind you, we're going to remind the client. We're actually now making a phone call to the client just to check in, say, hey, I hope you had a great experience. How are things with the new house? You get a sense of whether or not that's it was a good experience. We're going to remind them and say, hey, by the way, if you really wanted to thank your agent, the number one thing that you could do is fill that survey out. You should be seeing it in the next couple of days. So that phone call will be happening for you. So here's what that client needs to know, and we need to educate them on. And since you have the relationship with them, the more you can do this, the better. We're going to try as the relocation department, but we don't have the relationship with them. So this is actually, I think in sequence, this is the fourth question that gets asked, and it looks exactly like this. This is what it looks like when they get it. It says real estate agent. It says, what is your overall satisfaction with the service provided by, and it inserts your name and our name. So there's no confusion as to who they're rating in this particular situation. So that's pretty obvious for a client. If they liked you, they're going to think, boy, I better give them a good rating here. What's not so obvious, right? This is actually the first question that they get asked. Thinking about your recent experience for the property shown above, what was your overall satisfaction with the USA Movers Advantage program? That goes back to that initial statement that you made when you first met them. My job is to make sure that you have a fantastic experience with all levels of this real estate transaction. Now, even if you've made that statement, even if there's a problem, this can be a little bit more comfortable to you to say, when you get this survey, it's really about me, and it's about my ability or my attempt to try to make this as smooth of a transaction as possible. Let's just say something went wrong. The agent on the other side just wasn't really a good agent. They caused a lot of problems, and it wasn't a smooth transaction. That's an opportunity for you to get a better survey in most cases, and a lot of times I see that. When there was a problem and you guys handle it really well, they'll rate you as really, really good in this particular question if you explain it to them. It's a little uncomfortable, so you got to prepare yourself. I understand it's a little uncomfortable in a situation where the transaction went well. It's really uncomfortable in a situation where it isn't. Can't afford not to get this question right. And the service that you guys provide, the time that you spend, you deserve to get the rating on this. And that comes down to the final question. Boy, if I filled out a survey and gave somebody an 8, I would not think that I was blasting them. But basically, this is a pass-fail system. The numbers 1 through 8 equal we didn't get a good return. The numbers 9 and 10 equal we did get a return. There's sort of an extra category for getting a 10. To me, to explain to somebody that I need a 9 or a 10, I don't know that really means much to people. I would rather just say, look, I understand in the military, an 8, a 7, even a 6 might be a good rating, but this is a pass-fail system. Anything less than a 10 is a fail for me. So if you found my services to be, of value, I'm really asking if you could, see your way to providing me with a 10 on the survey. Where can you get a copy of the survey? This is a screenshot from your dashboard. Hopefully that looks like your dashboard, and you see the red boxes around a button called My Relocation. That launches our website, and on our website, if you click on Forms, which has the red box around it, then you'll see that USAA, it'll then give you a drop down for USAA. When you pull up USAA, all of our USAA documents come up, and there are many, so it's a good site for you to be looking at. And there's a USAA sample survey. Really important to use this website because the surveys change, the forms change, the faxing to the mortgage companies change. If you want to have the most current documents that relocation has, they will always be on this website, and you can always get them through the dashboard. Business building, what are we talking about? We're talking about our friends and family program, we're talking about AGRs, but this month we are talking about NFCU AGRs because there are 2 platinum points that are sitting out there for us. We need about 8-9 more AGRs underneath to go under contract from what we have. If what's pending right now projects out, we're going to need to find an additional 8 transactions. So really, really digging in and seeing what's out there. Want to remind everybody that we have, as agents, we have a goal of settling 2 business building, that's either a friends and family or an AGR, units before the year end. So if you haven't done that yet, and you have a possibility of an NFCU, you're helping yourself and you're helping the company. Where might you find an NFCU AGR? Well, first of all, if they're using NFCU mortgage, that's a really good sign that that's a person that could be put into the program. If they are former NFCU clients and possibly have listed their home, that's somebody that we could look at as putting into the program. Anyone that's former military is likely to possibly be an NFCU member or certainly is eligible. And here's the big one for go forward for all. This is USA and NFCU. Any internet lead or any sign call, anybody who's contacting you who doesn't know you and wasn't referred to you, they're contacting a lot of people. This is a no-brainer to get them, loyal to you, and you offer them something of value. Ask them if they're USA or NFCU members. Put them into the program. Explain the cash back that they get. You now have taken somebody who's probably going to call all over the place, and now they're working with you and they're dedicated to you. So here's a great opportunity to find these find these things. We do need 8 additional AGRs before the year end. Those 2 points could be enormous for us. We are really, really close, guys. And so if you've got somebody that you're working with, talk to your branch leader. We really need to find this opportunity. Miscellaneous. I wanted to talk to you about the NFCU Home Buyer's Choice. Most of you are probably really familiar with this program, but basically it's a 100% financing program for home buyers. So again, this could be an AGR opportunity, right? You may have somebody out there who this product might help them get into a home and get into, if they don't have a lot of money, this could be an opportunity for somebody that they could get in that doesn't know about this program to get into NFCU. Best way to educate yourself on this is to go to nfcu.com and read directly. I took this directly off of their site in terms of it being 100% financing opportunity. There's no down payment required. There's no PMI. There's a seller contribution up to 6% allowed. Here's something that's not written there, and we had an aha moment for one of our agents this last month, so I want to make sure everybody understood. When you get this good faith estimate, it's going to have some really high closing costs on it, and that's going to include the funding fee. Want to make sure that everybody knows that that funding fee works just kind of like a VA loan does. It can be rolled into the financing. So not everybody knows that. I'm not sure that their LO is going to always explain that to the customer or that the customer understands it. Want to make sure that you know it and that this is a good opportunity if you're working with somebody who's really doesn't have a lot of money. This could be a product that can help them get into a house. Here's our recap of what we're asking for. First of all, our new referrals that are coming in, gotta call them immediately. Look at those notes. If it doesn't give us any time restriction, make that phone call, make it quickly. If you're with a client, set it up early in the day. Hey, I may get 1 or 2 phone calls. I'm here for you. I will make my phone calls very quickly, and I will limit them to just a couple of situations. Is that okay with you? Then you're going to feel comfortable calling that client immediately, setting an appointment up to talk to them later. But that quick contact sets that expectation with them that, hey, I don't need to go anywhere else. I got the right person. Please don't submit any dead leads unless there's absolutely no chance that we can do business with them. We really need to, that will help us with our conversions. So just try to limit the number of dead leads that we're submitting right now. Educate your clients on that USAA survey, right? Educate them that there are 2 really important questions. There's a question about me, that's obvious. The question about the overall experience is not that obvious. Need you to really give me a 10 on both of those if you can. 4, ask for a 10. I know it's not easy, but we're all in sales, and we got this far to get them into a house. Ask for that 10. And finally, you are helping the company in ways that you cannot possibly imagine if you find an NFCU AGR and can get it settled between now and the end of the year. So with that, let's charge out there. Let's get this stuff done. Thank you, everybody, for what you do, and have a great day.